And now they're really well prepared, or at least I hope they are, because if they've tried to copy this comp in one night, they're insane. We're on the attack with this comp. We didn't get to see much of the defense, so that will be the idea. Looking for that afterplant already. The Cove will be broken and stacks will go down. An early advantage for Talon in this round, but with the afterplant, it only becomes more difficult.
But the blind fire is definitely favored Talon. The damage done is massive. Recovering from here is difficult. DRX going to struggle when it comes to trading out. Swinging in with low HP, the shock darts finding those kills, and with the numbers on their side and a tap on the spike, that forces the swing out. The reveal catches both, and that should be it. Defuse for Talon and a pistol found. Pistols. I saw Garnet's going aggressive with a bulldog, and he scared me a little bit, but that's falling back now.
That's the thing, they're using the high tide here to just take really deep control early. So the only way you can really get to them is if you go and take the low ground and still give you some advantageous duels. A bit of a bold spot from Garnet, but it works out. And while RB and Stacks, they do at least. It's sort of coming from one of the smaller regions in the form of Thailand. To have such young talent coming through is super exciting. We'll see if they can make their dreams come true with a top 4 finish, the highest we will have seen from anyone coming out of Thailand. But here we go. Cruz battling early. They've still got rifles to play with. Only one member in the form of Jitboy is
difficult now for DRX to make that space. They've spotted one player at the back. They know Harbor's close. Starting to get a feel of just how many players are here, but it doesn't seem to deter them. They're waiting for the utility to fail, and then they'll be right on their way through. Garnet's 5 HP. He's holding on barely, and he'll even get a kill. Even a little more. Somehow surviving. Although he falls in the end, surely he's done enough. Oh, maybe not. The last man alive, Zest, 1 versus 1. Look at the HP on the other side, just 4. He's going for the plant right now and needs to stick it all the way. Jitboys, though, coming up close. Early on for DRX, their attack side, not finding quite the results they're looking for, and up against that bonus. Although it was a strong bonus, doesn't matter. It's put Talon way into the lead. Opening duel goes their way. They're still pushing. Garnets, they're against pistols here. Cruz has died on B. That's free space. It's a plant. If they decide to stick it, they don't know that the site's fully free, but it is. And there's the plant coming through. But, ooh, I was about to say DRX are way ahead in this round, but RB is now trapped. They're going to deal with him. They have players surrounding him from every angle. That was close, but not quite.
Even still, into the afterplant. We've seen this many a time. DRX like to use this reckoning to almost help them out in the afterplant. And well, it's not often I've got to see 2 of these cross over at once, as both teams are going to try and apply this ult to make it awkward for the other side. High tide utilized to try and section them off, but Zesh is still here. He's just waiting patiently. The shots don't quite connect though, and now it's left all up to Marco running in. He finds a double instantly, and the time is ticking away. The flank is just too far. Marco should have done enough here.
But the shots aren't going to land.
That's the thing. I think they've realized that they need to pressure RB out of these rounds. If they can get rid of him on the lurk, this comp becomes a lot tougher to hold those flanks. The problem is, it's a lot easier said than done, because RB does very well. Even if he gets caught out, a lot of the time he's able to stay alive and call for reinforcements. Now, a tag has been hit on a couple of players, in fact. So this Marshall's becoming ever deadlier as the seconds go by. And now that pressure once again come on to the B site.
Cruz, just a sliver of health. He has got his orb and his snake bites to try and make this a bit more difficult on the way through. Nano swarms from Sushi Boys as well. 50 seconds though. Way but no snake bite, and that's going to cause a big problem.
They throw a nano swarm into the cove to try and do as much damage as possible. And that's the thing, they have done damage, Mitch. But it's not enough without actually managing to kill anyone off. Buzz low as well. Just look, 3 players now tagged. Desperately low. That cove doesn't last more than a second, but it forces a couple forward. In fact, Buzz right up close to that Viper screen. But so far, nothing found, and even a freebie almost missed by Sushi Boy. They will get
running it. They go for the orb immediately, but they were ready for a fight. 2 players watching for that Rafters push, but you can see how patient they're being here. There's been a couple of rounds where we've seen that attempted, where Garnets goes aggressive, and sure, he's running the classic, building the orb for the Blade Storm, but they don't know that. So obviously they're worried about him being close, being up top, ready to fight.
Be able to do that. All sat close. start going through, and the realization's been made. They've spotted so many players off the back of it, they're going to try and double round towards this B site. And unfortunately for Talon, they haven't realized. So although they had the stack right initially, they're going to have to very quickly try and run back to B to have any presence in this round.
It doesn't really look like they'll get there in time. The orb is here to greet them, but it's even coming online too late. Or might have been online already. Could be the reason for the delay. Plant is secured. Players on the way out. Sure, they're going to decay a little bit. RB, you're disgusting, but that turret is still online. They're hearing it. I think Sushi... I thought he was hearing it, but maybe not. It turns out RB's just right behind him. Just holding it, waiting for him. I guess maybe he thought the push was coming. What? Buzz is going aggressive here? They're against pistols, Tom. He's so aggro, he doesn't even...
That's the thing, though. He has so much faith in his teammates after plant that he does this. He's basically looking for that knockout blow in every single round. He's going to get it with the shorty. This man is feeling confident at the moment in another prime game. DRX.
Oh, hello. He's come very quickly around. Is that a neon fox he's playing? It's got a different skin on it. Straight up and into this fight, and, well, I think he's going to lose his life in a second, but, you know, he has certainly found them the space to get this spike planted. Only problem now is the spams that could come through on the other side. The snake bite's already in, and that is devastating. Well, there we go.
Yeah, eventually, seemingly more of the same. Nice couple of shots, and they're expecting Sushi Boy now. Spotted him in mid, trapped in the corner, spike down on the ground and not planted. If he can get anything from this, that would be a huge success.
And he's at least got the information here that the turret's playing in kitchen. This is something that Talon did on their defense, so it's not a big surprise or anything. We've seen that utility shift around.
Garnet, I think he's actually missed where he was hoping to get up to. Has to do it a little bit later, and because of that, they're ready. Good trade, though, from Jip Boy, but again, the spike now on the ground, the stinger doing the work. And while the rest of the team are probably hoping to end up in an afterplant, the Cove already being used, and because of that, this is now becoming a very difficult round for Talon.
I mean, they've still got a minute, but it's the spike position that's just so damning. Even if they wait, there's no way the DRX are going to rotate to the other side of the map. I hope to catch them as they reposition, but I mean, you even start to worry about a flank at this point. I don't think Sushi Boy still has his turret up. Good kill. Shock Dart was on as well. Stacks running through, caught from up above.
A Blade Storm now for Buzz. They've managed to at least bring this round a little bit more into contention. The problem is Marco has nothing. He is sat back. His whole job is to delay. And Stacks as well really doesn't have anything to play with. They have been able to go for a fast rotation, but this is all a ruse. They've used the screen and are starting to put that pressure onto Buzz. An initial tag, but only one player spotted. And that one player being the Lurk means that they're not going to pull a rotation just yet.
Yeah, there's no reason to suspect, especially with how prominent that Killjoy position around A, having your turret or your alarm bot for mid, it's very common. But now they're starting to realize there might be a few more players here. We're down to just one blade. If my math is right, Buzz is going to have to hit that headshot right away, or he's going to be relegated to the Classic for the rest of the round.
And that's the thing. Again, okay, you have a couple of rifles. Again, you have the Reckoning, but it's how much you want to invest into this round and how much is just about taking some of those guns out of an opponent. That one knife now dissipated, and they almost have to start trying to tap on that defuse, but there's so much utility in the way that it is becoming tougher and tougher by the second. A Hunter's Fury in post if they need it, and it seems like they're going to throw it in just to maybe try and confirm this one. The defuse actually still coming, but it seems like they don't really need it. Eventually, they will win out just with the rifles alone. Didn't have to be available, but it might just be the plan to try and get in with that Viper's Pit. Even when it's counter available, much more of a chance for a plant. Zest is just playing almost hidden, hoping that someone attempts something here, and he's just waiting, but he loses the fight! Across the rope goes Sushi Boy, and Marco, this time, he's gonna get traded as well.
Well, a trade good enough a lot of the time. Sushi Boys goes down, and Cruz trades it. A brave play to step out of that Viper's Pit, but in the end, it's left them with the advantage, a huge advantage, in fact, to play with. With the plant down, the pit to cover, and a completely unknown Foxy just roaming around, 2 snake bites, 2 shock darts. The win conditions are just completely ticked here for Talon, and DRX have realized that.
But that's the thing, he used the Hunter's Fury just to deny the lockdown on the other side, making sure that they had themselves that execution onto the site. And I'll say Zest, I'll be honest, a little bit unlucky. He had a good read there, was ready to try and deny the plant, but this time they were ready and watching for somebody to be around. And, well, obviously being able to get a kill on the ropes will help you out quite a bit.
Yeah, it's not too bad. You know, I guess the thing is when you're holding the position Zest was in, as we saw his crosshair placement, might not have seen it much before, but Cruz is actually going there. Let him cook, my man. He's going to be playing super late in the round, but turret's gone now. So, all right, he's bailing out of there. Not really done too much, but RB, he got rid of the turret and took the gun himself right into the site, and he's still going. Making his way through his teammates' pit, clearing it piece by piece and grabbing the information. They're leaving. Stop the flank, Buzz. There's no need to continue moving forward. Instead, he sits in this spot, listening, waiting to grab the info, waiting to punish that rotation. They are taking it through middle, though, at least. So they'll bypass him, bypass the pit. And in fact, the fight may be Stax's.
They're going to be able to get fairly far forward. Cruz, just hoping that someone gives him a fight, gives them something into this round, but the realization has to be had eventually. The problem is with two players in the pit, they won't actually know until they've pushed through. And just trying to get any form of battle, it seems like it's just going to be played as a retake. The dart, not going to catch, but it will buy a little bit of extra time. And they know exactly where it's been planted for.
They know that turret was taken out earlier on. The kitchen is exposed, and they're watching it. You can see Stax passively sat in the corner. That position catches Foxy off guard completely. Stax just takes command of the round for DRX. And the lead, instead, looking to actually take a fight. They want to punish some of these duels, but DRX are being patient. By the time they eventually make those peaks happen, well, I was going to say the spike might be down, but no, this isn't a commitment. I don't think Talon even, I don't want to say they don't want to go B. They've so many players here, but I think they're trying to bait a rotation or a flank from A. That's what it looks like.
Well, actually, you start to see some of the players on DRX moving back. I think they expected it to be a fake at this stage, almost doubling around as they're going to get towards the site. Finally, Buzz low, and he's going to swing back into an opponent. They've somehow, with their patience alone, found themselves an opener. Stax very quick to respond, though. His retake sits in the same spot as before. They used the cove to actually escape rather than to plant. And with the lurk from Cruz, that's something DRX need to deal with.
Big wall blocking off B. I mean, this is going to put pressure on Talon to move forward. Cove goes up, and now Garnets has to get in there. Good spam, but he won't catch the kill. RB returning, and it's already being diffused, and it's gone!
Maybe looking to pick up the pace a little bit. These slower rounds have played into DRX's hands instead. They want to put the pressure right back on, but that's where Buzz thrives. An opener to boot, and they have to fall back.
No matter what happens here, Talon have made history for their team, for their region, for their country, most certainly. The top four is all they wanted. A monumental spot, but DRX, so they've been after the Korean meta, the Korean era for a long, long time, and it looks like they might be on their way. Top four within their grasp, a 5 versus 2, and Garnet's one of the most impressive players that we've had in this tournament. Definitely a breakout for him. But for him to break back into this, we would need some of the best Valorant we've seen on an individual level in this entire event. A reckoning going